Okay, quick video. This is your register can. This edge is called a plaster ground. What you'll do is, you can see how the flange part of the plaster ground is a ½ inch from the edge, the opening. So this flange goes on the back side, the attic side of the drywall, so that this face is even with the drywall. So what you do is you cut the drywall, the opening size, from here to here, square, so that this falls right through the hole, but this flange does not. And then what you do is you just take some drywall screws, one here and one caddy corner, and this will be the size as you put the grill in, the screws for the grill. This grill will set right in there on the ceiling. You'll have your drywall screw somewhere in here to keep this flange against the drywall. That way when you screw the grill in, it holds. So for this, to rough it in, is simply cut it this size, the hole, rectangle or square, and you can drop this through. You can buy these at Home Depot. They'll have the size on them already. That is your flex duct. That's 25 feet. That's pretty standard. Now, obviously, you're going to notice I have 8-inch. I just grabbed whatever just to show you. That is a bag of flex. It's 25 feet. This is your start collar. So what you want to do here is, you want to take this. It's going to be kind of rough because I didn't set anything up. You'll see the tab. It pops in there and it'll click. So let me see if I can. So you want to take it, slide it in, and you'll hear it click. That means it's secure. If you don't do that, it'll just pop right open. I hope that works. They call them dovetail. So what you want to do on something like this, if there's not a ring around it, this is just a bead. There's not some sort of flange, similar to this, around the dovetail. You'll want to take these, and every other one you'll want to bend out first, all the way around. That way when you slide it through the hole, this becomes your outside flange to hold it from falling out or falling all the way into the hole. Once you put it in the hole and you create your duct, then you bend these over. So you're pinching it on both sides of the metal, basically. That's your start collar. This, I'll get to in a minute. So this is your flex duct once it's stretched out. This is the side. Getting ahead of myself, sorry. This is what it looks like. You have your interior, an inch of insulation, and then your exterior foil backing. So what you want to do is, you want to take it, you want to roll the insulation. You can just pull it back too, it doesn't matter. But you want to get this outer one out of your way and extend this out. So that when your start collar goes in, you can slide it over your start collar. Then you want to duct tape this inner liner separately. Okay, this is going to suck, but hang on. So I'd recommend pulling it out like that, because you're going to pull some of this back over it. So when you get it out like this, then when you slide it over your start collar, now you have something. I'd take it past this bead, duct tape it to the metal. Make sure that the tape hits the plastic and the metal. Then what you'll do is you'll take this and you'll pull it up over the end, covering. Then you duct tape this one to the metal. So you duct tape them separately. You can see it's 25 feet. So you'll need someone on each end holding the inner plastic, just the inner plastic. Don't worry about the insulation. Inner plastic, and pull. So one person on each end, once you unbag it, pull it. The reason that flex duct is so inefficient, sorry, how to do it again, is this right here. It's like a slinky. So when it collapses in, if you don't get it tight, that right there creates a lot of resistance. Metal duct, say an 8-inch metal duct will run 225 to 250 CFM. With flexible duct, you'll get about 75 to 80% of that, just because there's a lot more resistance. So you want to try to keep it as tight as possible. You'll never keep it perfectly tight. This, so I didn't have the duct tape. Oh yeah, I do have duct tape. Just a roll of duct tape. Doesn't matter. It can be the orange stuff, camo. That doesn't matter. Gorilla does make pretty good duct tape. This, wish I'd have thought of this earlier. This is just a hanger strap, but it's a vinyl hanger strap. This pin just pulls out. You pull it, you cut it with a knife, you wrap it around the duct, and this enables you to hang it. You can just put a nail or a screw or whatever to a truss so that you can hang it to keep it as level as possible. When you cut it, before you put a screw in, make sure you fold the end over at least once. I like to go maybe 3 times. In fact, what I usually do is I'll take this tab and make it bigger, 3-4 inches, and then I'll bend that in half. That gives you a lot of meat to screw through so it doesn't rip out as easy. So, just put my hand over the camera. That was sweet. That's all it is. It's really that hard. You can probably do it in 2 to 3 hours. So that is your sealing can. The flexible duct hooks to that side. You'll run it over to your ductwork where this tap will be. That is your start collar. Dovetail it so this will be in between. Now if you're over 25 feet long, you'll have to get 2 bags. And then just buy a little piece of 8-inch snap lock pipe. They'll have it at Home Depot. Cut it to about 1 foot long. That way you can slide each end of the flex halfway on, tape it both inner and outer on both sides. That way you have a nice strong coupler. The way you cut is just, I don't have a knife on me. Stick a knife straight through, bam. Then you can pull it apart and you'll take your knife and you'll finish cutting this outer. The inner you can actually rip all the way, but you'll need a pair of pliers of some sort to cut this wire. I mean, that's something you'll figure out in about 2 seconds. That is all you need. And I'm forgetting one thing. You gotta stretch the flex out, do the grill. Oh. If you'll notice, this side is crimped. You're gonna have a hard time taking this side, put it against the duct to trace it for your round hole. I think you still have my snips. If not, buy a cheap pair of snips here at Harbor Freight or something. This side, it's not straight. They're already beveled in because of the machine that goes through. So what I would recommend is putting it crimp side down. The crimp makes the metal smaller. You can see it right there. So you put the crimp side down, trace it with a marker all the way around with like a Sharpie or something. Then when you cut your hole, you cut on the outside of the Sharpie line, not on the inside, the outside. That way the tap will fit. How do we get a hole in? I usually take a screwdriver. Take a heavy duty screwdriver. I lay it, I think there's a screwdriver around here somewhere. See, I wasn't completely prepared. But I usually take a screwdriver. If you get the flat end of the screwdriver, you turn it on edge and point it up a little bit, and then you just hit it with a hammer and you can put a slice in there to get it started. Just do it in the center of your hole. If you're going to use a screwdriver, you take the screwdriver, don't put it on the edge, it's going to fuck up your edge. You want to bring it in toward the center more and cut it towards the edge. So start in the center and cut towards the edge. And leave it a little bit shy of the edge. That's the best thing. And then, to seal it, which is something that a lot of people don't do, and I don't have any sealer, they make a mastic, and it's in the HVAC aisle. It comes in a bucket like this, usually a white bucket. You just need a cheapo 90-cent paintbrush with it. And it's just a water-based mastic, a sealer. It's considered flexible. It dries hard, but it's still considered flexible because it's not brittle. Just pop it open, take it up, smudge it on there. I recommend you do it after you hook the flex up. You don't have to seal the flex because the duct tape will do that, but you need to seal the tap into the ductwork. So that tap right there should be sealed in the ductwork. You will lose air. No matter how tight you make that, you will lose air. So I recommend sealing that. This is going to cost you about $75. This is $5 to $6. That's probably maybe $10. This is probably $20. So you can see you're talking $120, $150 max for this whole setup. And then you have something that's permanent. And it's not just a summer thing, it'll be a winter thing too. And this really, I'm talking about a lot of steps. Half an hour max. And I'm assuming that it's going to be difficult. I can pop one out in 5 minutes, so you can probably do it in 10 or 15. Stretching this flex out 2 seconds. Hang in the duct 5-10 minutes. Run in the flex. I mean, if you stretch it out on the floor and just pull it up into the attic, you can stretch it out 15-20 minutes. The hardest part's going to be if you have to couple it. It's really not difficult. Just remember, the biggest thing I would recommend is when you put this through the ceiling, I would actually hook this to the flex in your garage. Drag this whole thing up, set it in the hole with the flex attached. Then you can go down below and finish it. Then you can go down below, put just like 2 drywall screws in once you set the can in place. That way you can reach up and you can reach up and hold the can in place right here. Even with the flex on, you'll be able to get your fingertips on, hold it so that you can put screws in. That'll hold this entire can in place while you put your grill on. So it's not super difficult. A little bit of time consuming. You can probably do it 2 to 3 hours maximum and you'll have your grill done. The existing system now, the 8-inch round, handles probably, like I said, 225 to 250 CFM. Once you add the 7, the 4, and the 5 in, it's not enough. That 8 is not enough. You can upsize it to a 9, which would probably be enough to carry that. I would recommend a 10 at least. But really, 1.7 in your room is not enough. You've got about a 20 by 20 room, but you also have 10-foot ceilings. That's a lot. That's 4,000 cubic foot in that room. Consider my room. We usually recommend about 3/4 CFM per square foot for airflow if you're designing a system. For a room like yours, I would recommend at least 1 CFM per square foot just because the cubic foot is so much greater. So this is not a big deal. It will take a little bit of time, but it's not horrible. I would just leave the existing stuff alone, undo the return in your room, add this one, and you'll be good to go. I think that'd be really good. And you're doing a setup like this, except it's rectangular or square. Your door's here, bathroom's here. Your supply grill's here, your return grill's here. I'd recommend putting it along this wall, maybe even close to the corner. I'd keep it at least, if you're going to put it in the corner, keep it 3 to 4 feet off each wall. Over here, try to put it centered above the window for 2 reasons. 1, the window's going to be the greatest heat load. 2, it's going to look better. So, that's it.